Alright, let's talk about hoisting in JavaScript. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard that before. Douglas Crockford was teaching this stuff back in the late 90s. It hasn't changed. So, first of all, what is it? Hoisting in JavaScript refers to variables. When you say var x equals 5, the var gets hoisted up to the top of the function and is assigned undefined, and then later on, where you originally defined that var, it actually gets its value at the time the code runs. Well, there's variable hoisting and there's function hoisting. When we talk about function hoisting, we're talking about the differences between a function expression and a function declaration. A function declaration gets hoisted to the top, just like a function expression, except the declaration also gets its definition hoisted up. So just saying function, say hello, and then define the function, all of that's going to go to the top. Well, it really doesn't. It doesn't actually get hoisted like that. What we're talking about with hoisting is data binding. And this goes back to execution context. Remember, every function is associated with a new execution context. So if you have not watched those videos, please go back and watch those videos. That is the most important part of JavaScript in execution context. So what happens? Well, let's look at the code. Okay, at the top of the code we have say hello. We're calling the function. And if you look on line 9, we have a function declaration called say hello. Okay, and that's what we're referencing there. So this is an example of hoisting. We're calling the function before it's actually defined in the code. Okay, so under hoisting, say hello is going to be hoisted to the top of the global space. We're in the global space right now. It do the same thing in a function. So it goes to the top above say hello. So it works. And let's look at our bash window. So let's run this in Node. Hello from declaration. So that's a function declaration. The function itself gets hoisted up along with the definition of it. Well, let's look what happens if we do it the other way. Okay, let's run it with a function expression. Go ahead and comment this one out. Okay, let's save that and run it. Oh, now we get an error. This is the difference. So where in the function declaration, the name of the function and the definition of it got hoisted up above the call to say hello. In a variable, it does not. Only the name gets hoisted up above our function call. And then the definition gets added when it actually runs in the code. And if you see here in the bash window, the error is say hello is not a function. That's right, it's undefined. So how does this actually work? Well, it's not actually hoisting. It's data binding in the execution context. So what happens is when an execution context is created, okay, the engine scans the code. If it's a function, it'll bind the arguments, and then it'll bind function declarations. That's what it looks for. Looks for arguments and then function declarations. It doesn't look for arguments unless it's a function. Here in the global space, it's not looking for arguments. So, but it is looking for function declarations. Okay, and what it does is it binds everything right then for function declaration, and then it starts looking for variables with the var keyword, and it runs across say hello, but it doesn't bind the actual function to the var. For vars, it just grabs the name of it, assigns it to undefined, and then later on it gets bound when it runs. That's what you're seeing here. and that's a big difference here. I do prefer function declarations, and that's why a lot of times you'll see you can just put them anywhere. Now you could say, yeah, we can put vars anywhere too. Well, you just saw the difference of it. Okay, and that's all hoisting is. It boils down to this. Now you know how it actually works. Thanks, guys.